Hello everyone and welcome back to our virtual Mishnah Berurah here. We're holding Mishnah Berurah Chel Gimel, and Mir Hashem today we will be learning Daf Yud Ches Amid Aleph. We are continuing to learn Hilchos Shabbos. We pick up today on the very top line of Yud Ches Amid Aleph in Siman Reish Nun Beis, in the middle of Sif Beis. We're on the top line of Yud Ches Amid Aleph, all the way at the end of the line with the words of the Ramah that begin Hagah. Our learning today should be a schus for Achenu Kabeis Yisrael and the Sunim Batzar Ubashivya Ha'imdim Bei Bayam Ubein Bayabasha Hamakim Yerachem Aleihem V'Yitzim Yisrael L'Rvacha Me'afela L'Oiro Mishibad L'Gula Hashta Bagala Uvizman Kariv V'Namar Amen. So we have quite a bit of Mishnah Berurah to do today, so let's get started right away. Here in Sif Beis, the Mechaber has been discussing somebody who wants to give out piecework to a Eino Yehudi on Erev Shabbos. So the Mechaber said you could give clothing to a launderer. Let's say nowadays you could give a suit to the dry cleaner, or you could give out Pashut laundry to a laundromat that washes laundry for you and gives it back washed. You could do this all the way Samach L'Chashecha. You could give it out on Erev Shabbos right before the Zman. Said the Mechaber, Im Katzatz Loi Damim, if you set a price for the job. So this is what we've always spoken about. This is called kablanus. What you're doing is you're paying the Eino Yehudi for the job. You're not paying him for his work. He's taking on the work as his own work. He's getting paid a set amount of money to deliver a completed job to you. The sooner he completes the job and delivers the job to you, the completed job, the sooner he gets paid. In this case, we say, Nachri Adaita Denavshei Kavan. If the Eino Yehudi decides to work on Shabbos, he's doing it for his own purposes. He wants to get paid. He wants to get paid the sooner the better. So he decided to work on Shabbos, deliver the job, the completed job sooner, and he wants to get paid. So you go to the laundromat, and it's a half hour before Shkia. There's no time for them to do the laundry, but you make up a kitzvah, you make up a set price for the job. They take it. When they'll do it, they'll do it. Now, the Mechaber did tell us that there were two caveats to this. The first one was, V'hu shelo yarma lo lasos b'Shabbos. You're not allowed to be kaveya malachtoi b'Shabbos. You're not allowed to instruct the Eino Yehudi, I want you to do the job for Shabbos. You're not allowed to tell the Eino Yehudi, I need it back 10 minutes after Ois on Motzei Shabbos, because that's akin to telling the Eino Yehudi that he has to do the job on Shabbos. You're not allowed to do that, because then you are instructing the Eino Yehudi to do the work for you on Shabbos. That would clearly be Amir La'akum. The other caveat that the Mechaber gave us was that the work has to be done in the workshop or in the home or in the store of the Eino Yehudi. It cannot be done in the Yisrael's house. If the work is being done in the Yisrael's house, then it looks like the work is being done b'shlichus of the Yisrael. That would be aser. That's already becoming Amira La'akum. So again, just to sum it up very easily, you're allowed to give out work b'kablonus on Erev Shabbos, even very close to the Zman. Why? Because the Eino Yehudi is not working for you. He's not doing the work b'shlichusai of the Yisrael. He has accepted the work. You outsourced the work to him. He has now accepted it as work that he needs to do. It's his work. He's going to deliver the finished project to you. That's what he owes you. He owes you delivery of the finished product. But when he does the work, Nachri Adaita Denavshei Ka'avan. Now let's pick up with the Ramah. Says the Ramah, last word on the top line, Yud Ches Amid Aleph, Hagah. V'im loy katzatz. Let's say you did not set a price. Then, says the Ramah, Aser be'erev Shabbos. Then it's Aser to give out this work on Erev Shabbos. Let's take a look at the Mishnah Berurah and see what this means. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Ois Katni Yud Ches. V'im loy katzatz. If you did not set a price for the job, you didn't establish a price for the job. Says the Mishnah Berurah, what does that mean? Hainu shaloi hisna im hayisrael oidois secharoi. The Eino Yehudi did not have any discussions with you regarding payment. You went to the Eino Yehudi, you said, could you clean the suit? Could you press the suit? Could you wash the laundry? Nothing was spoken about payment. Now, continues the Mishnah Berurah, the Eino Yehudi mitzapa l'tashlo l'schar. the Yeni Yehudi is definitely expecting to be paid. He's not expecting to do this job gratis. He's not expecting to do it for nothing. But there were no discussions about pay. You didn't set a price. You didn't do anything. Not only you didn't set a fixed price, you didn't even say, I'll pay you the going rate. Of course, I'm going to pay you. There was no discussion. Could you do this for me? He said yes. In that case, says the Mishnah Berurah, the Ramah is telling you usher. Then it's usher. Why is it usher? The lo yamrina nadaite dinav sheika avad. Because now we don't look at the Eini Yehudi when he's doing the malacha on Shabbos. We don't say nachri adaita dinav sheika avad. Kevich Yisrael lo yifticha behedya. And this is what I spoke about yesterday at the end of yesterday's shir. You see, we're walking a tightrope over here. The whole problem, the whole Amira La'akum problem over here is we cannot have a situation where the Eina Yehudi is doing the malacha as your shliach on Shabbos. If he's doing the malacha as your shliach on Shabbos, it becomes usher because of Amira La'akum. By being kotzatz, by making him a kablan and setting a price for the job, you take away that problem. Because now you outsource the work to him. It's his work. When he does the work, nachri adaita dinav sheika avad. But if you're not kotzatz, if you never set a price, you never discussed payment. So now what happens? The nachri is taking the laundry to wash the laundry. He definitely expects to get paid. But is he batuach? Does he know how much he's getting paid? Did he take it on as his work? Is it pshat? Oh, you're going to pay me $25 to do this? No problem. Leave it by me. I'm going to take care of it. I'll deliver it when it's finished. That's kotzatz. That's nochri adaitei danav sheika avad. But if you didn't make up the pay, so yes, I'm going to do the work, but why am I doing the work? I'm working for you with the expectation that you're going to pay me for the work that I do. At the end of doing the work, I'll give you a bill. I might give you a bill and say it took me 4 hours. I might give you a bill and tell me it took me half an hour. But I'm working for you with the expectation that you're going to pay me for my work. But you're going to pay me for the fact that I'm working for you. Not that I accepted the job and I'm doing my work and I deliver the finished product to you. That's the difference over here. So that's why the Ramah says, Im loy kotzatz, if you did set a price, now you can't do this. You can't give it to him right before Shabbos. Because now he's working for you. Next Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah is cut your test. The Ramah said, Im loy kotzatz, if you don't set a price, osur be'erev Shabbos. The Mishnah Berurah explains this further. Be'erev Shabbos, tekeshed noistoi loy be'erev Shabbos. Because now, when you're not kotzatz, and you give the work to the Eini Yehudi on Erev Shabbos, so you never spoke about money, and now you're giving the dirty clothing to the launderer on Erev Shabbos, Mechsi ki'ilu noistin loy amanas sheyasa b'Shabbos. Now, the deal looks like, why are you giving the dirty clothing, why are you giving it to the launderer right before Shabbos? If you would be kotzatz, if you would say, I'm giving it to you, you take it on, you wash it, you'll let me know when it's ready. So, okay, I delivered it to you on Erev Shabbos because that's when it was convenient for me to do it. But I'm giving it to you, you'll take care of it, you'll let me know when it's ready. But if you weren't kotzatz, here, I have this dirty clothing, I need it laundered, could you do it for me? Yeah, I could wash that for you. You're giving it to him on Erev Shabbos, no money was spoken about, it looks like you're giving it to him to do it now. If you're kotzatz for the job, then it doesn't look like you're giving it to him to do it now. It looks like you're just delivering the dirty clothing to him so he can put it on his stack of clothing that has to be laundered. He'll get to it when he'll get to it, and he'll call you up when it's finished. But if you never speak about the money, if you don't set a price for the job, here, I need this laundered. You'll do it for me? Yeah. I'm going to take it. I'm going to do it. The deal looks like you're instructing him to do it now. You're giving it to him now. He's going to do it now, and he's going to give you a bill when he's finished, and he's going to charge you for the work that he did for you. Now, when the Mishnah Berurah says over here, mechsi, it looks like, I don't think the Mishnah Berurah is talking here about maris ayin. He doesn't mean mechsi it looks to people as if you're making a shliach to do it on Shabbos. And if it's katzatz, it doesn't look to people that way. No, the question is, what does it look like between you and the Ein Yehudi? You're making this deal with the Ein Yehudi. When you're katzatz with the Ein Yehudi, then the Ein Yehudi understands the parameters of the deal. He understands that he's taking this on as a kablanus. It's his work to do, and when he finishes it, he'll call you or he'll deliver the finished laundry, the folded laundry, back to you. But when it's not katzatz, then to the Ein Yehudi, he doesn't have that feeling. He doesn't understand that that's the parameters of the deal. Now to the Ein Yehudi, it seems that you want him to do this now. You're giving him work to do now. So he'll take the work and he'll do it and he'll bill you. That's what mechsi over here means. The kishenais delay b'erev Shabbos, mechsi kilu nois delay b'nashi yasa b'Shabbos. Ukishe kotzatz, but when you're kotzatz, the adaitit and avshei kavad, now the nachri is accepting it as an outsourced job. Loy mechsi kilu oimen loykein. Now he doesn't feel like you're telling him to do it now. Now he understands it's a job that he has to deliver when it's finished. The Kasra Paiskim, the Paiskim write, very interesting here. The Kasra Paiskim, the Kisheyesh Shois Legamra Miba'oidyoim. This is a very important rule that we spoke about earlier when we were dealing with Amir La'akim. Kasra Paiskim, the Kisheyesh Shois Legamra Miba'oidyoim. If you're giving out the work to the Ein Yehudi, and there's enough time on Erev Shabbos to finish the work before Shabbos, Motor Afilu Be'erev Shabbos, Va'afilu Loy Katzatz, L'kulei Alma. If you bring laundry to the launderer on Friday morning at 10 o'clock when they first open, and the laundry bag that you're giving them to wash is going to take an hour between the washer and the dryer, so you're giving it to them with plenty of time to get it done before Shabbos, you don't need katzatz. Then it's mutter without katzatz, it's mutter on Erev Shabbos, no problem. Why? Because I'm clearly not making you a shliach to do the work on Shabbos. I gave it to you a Friday morning at 10 o'clock. You had hours and hours and hours to do it. So I'm not making you a shliach. You did it on Shabbos. You did it on Shabbos. Sigar Satan mit mir. The problem always becomes if the deal looks like I made you a shliach to do my work on Shabbos. That's Amir Lakum. But 10 o'clock in the morning, plenty of time to do it before Shabbos. I didn't make you a shliach. Now, the Mishnah Berurah makes an interesting diuk in the words of the Ramah. What does the Ramah say? The Mechaber said, if you're katzatz, then this is mutter on Erev Shabbos. Came along the Ramah said, if you warrant katzatz, it's aser be'erev Shabbos. It's aser on Erev Shabbos. Now the Mishnah Berurah laid the groundwork for what he's about to say. The Mishnah Berurah said, it's true that if you're not katzatz, it's aser. But if there's enough time to do the work before Shabbos, then it's mutter even without kitzitza. Then it's mutter without talking about the money at all. You don't need to set a price for the job because they have plenty of time to do it. Now, says the Mishnah Berurah, the Ramah said, im loy katzatz, when is it aser? On Erev Shabbos. How about Thursday? How about if you gave the work to the Ein Yehudi on Thursday? Okay, is there time for the work to be completed before Shabbos? If there's time for the work to be completed before Shabbos, it's definitely mutter. That's mutter even on Erev Shabbos without kitzitza. How about if there's no time to do the work before Shabbos? How about if you gave out a very big job on Thursday morning, but this is a job that's going to take hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to do. If they start the job Thursday morning at 9 o'clock and they work straight, they're not going to finish before Shabbos. Am I allowed to give out that job without kitzitza? If I give it out with kitzitza, if I give it out with kablonus, it would be mutter. I outsourced it. That I could do even right before Shabbos. But now without kitzitza, could I give out that job on Thursday morning? Or do we say, you gave out a job Thursday morning, not b'kablonus, and there's no time for them to finish it before Shabbos? Maybe you're not allowed to do it. Says the Mishnah Berurah, you are. The Ramah holds you are allowed to do it. And that's why the Ramah says, aser be'erev Shabbos. It's aser on Erev Shabbos. It's not aser on Thursday. It's not aser on Wednesday. Why? Let's take a look at the words of the Mishnah Berurah. This that the Ramah was very meduyik. And the Ramah said that without kitzitza, it's aser on Erev Shabbos. the Berevi v'chamishi on Wednesday or Thursday, shehu muflig ben haShabbos, which is far away from Shabbos, mutter litein loy, you're allowed to give work to an Eini Yehudi, afilu she'ein yochel legamra koydem haShabbos, even if it can't be finished before Shabbos, and you gave it without kitzitza, it's not kablonos. Why is that mutter? Kevet shaloi amaloi sheyasa b'Shabbos, because I didn't tell you to do it on Shabbos. What the Magen Avram comes from based on a Magen Avram. What he seems to be saying over here is, again, the whole Amira La'akum problem is when the sense is that you're making the Eini Yehudi a shliach to do your work on Shabbos. If you give an Eini Yehudi work to do on Erev Shabbos that he cannot accomplish before Shabbos, and you don't do kitzitza, then it seems that you gave him work to do on Shabbos. And since it's not the kabbalonus, he's working for you. It's not nachri adaita dan sheikavat. So you made him a shliach to do malacha on Shabbos. That's a miralaka 101. That's usher. But if you give him work on Wednesday, even though if you do the calculation, he can't finish the work before Shabbos, when you give an Eini Yehudi work on Wednesday, there's no sense that you're making him a shliach to do work on Shabbos. I got to give you the work sometime, so I gave you the work on Wednesday. But Shabbos, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos is still far away. I'm not even making my shopping list for Shabbos yet. So there's no sense that I made him a shliach to work for me on Shabbos. And since that's the case, there's no Amir La'akum problem. Okay, now let's go back to the Ramah, second line down in the middle of the line. Says the Ramah, V'ayin le'el siman reish bem zayin, de yesh cholkin im oisaloi bechinam tahainu b'toivas hana. What is the Ramah referring to? So if you look back on Yud Zayin and Beis, another halacha that the Mechaber told us. The Mechaber said you could give out this work, you could give the laundry to the launderer, you could give the hides to the tanner on Erev Shabbos right before the Zman, if you're kaitzitz, if you set a price for the job. But then the Mechaber said on the very bottom line, another case. He said, you're also allowed to give the work to the Eini Yehudi if the Eini Yehudi says he wants to do it for you for nothing. You bring the laundry to the launderer, and you want to be kaitzitz, you want to set a price for the job, but the launderer says, no, I'm doing it for you for nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to do it for nothing. The Mechaber said, in that case, that's also mutter. And the Mishnah Berurah explained, why is that mutter? We saw this earlier. Because the Mechaber feels that if the Eini Yehudi says he's doing it for nothing, why is he doing that? Obviously, he's doing it because he feels he owes you something. He knows that you have done favors for him in the past. Maybe he's your neighbor, you take care of the house when he's on vacation, whatever it is. So because of favors that you did for him in the past, he's doing this favor for you now. He's doing your laundry gratis. So the Mechaber held that is just as effective as kitzitza. That turns this into nachri adaita denav sheikavad. On that says the Ramah, V'ayin le'el siman reish bem zayin, sif dalid, there are those who dispute this ruling of the Mechabers, and they say that no, if the Eini Yehudi wants to do it b'chinam, tahainu b'toivas hana, he's doing it b'toivas hana to return a favor. There are those that hold that is not kitzitza, it's not nachri adaita denav sheikavad, and therefore it's aser. Says the Mishnah Berurah, the yesh cholkim with sfir lehu, these yesh cholkim hold the dinoi keloi kotzatz, that toivas hana, the Eini Yehudi is doing it gratis because we're thinking he's returning a favor to you. That's like a loy kotzatz. Va'adaita to Yisrael kovid. And when he's doing the malacha, he's doing it for you. Va'asar be'erev Shabbos, and therefore you can't give him the work on Erev Shabbos. V'ayim b'darkei Moshe ois beis tamaskim lahayesh cholkin. If you look at the Darkei Moshe on the Torah, over there, the Ramah seems to agree with this shita of the Yesh Cholkin. That's the way the Ramah seems to paskin. Where this same achloikis was brought down, and over there, what the Mishnah Berurah brings down is that the opinion of the Achronim seems to be that in such a case where the Ein Yehudi says, now do it for nothing, tell him, listen, I have a Jewish law issue. Let me at least give you $2 or whatever it is, and you'll do it for that. If you do that, then that's already kotzatz. Now we say that's enough to make it nachri adaita denavshei ka'avad. Ois Katan Chaf Aleph, we're talking about a case where the Ein Yehudi says he's going to do it bechinam. Now, there's different scenarios of how it could come out that the Ein Yehudi says he's going to do it bechinam. Says the Mishnah Berurah, there is a scenario where even the Ramah and the Yesh Chalkim would agree that if the Ein Yehudi agrees to do it for nothing, that's like Kitzitza, and that would be mutter. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Im loisha Ein Yehudi ba'atzmai maschil im Yisrael loimer sheyasa lo bechinam. If the Ein Yehudi is the one who starts the conversation, the Yisrael walks in with his hides that need tanning, or walks in with his suit to clean it, and the Ein Yehudi behind the counter turns around and says, Ruvain, I'm so happy you walked in and give me whatever you need, I'm doing it for nothing. So in that case, if the Ein Yehudi was the one who started the conversation, and he offered right away to do it bechinam, then certainly he's doing it because he feels that he owes you for favors that he received from you or services that he received from you in the past, and then that would be, like the Machaber said, that would be akin to being kotzatz, that would be akin to kablonos, and we would say, what's the case that the Ramah is machmir in? What's the case that the Ramah disagrees with the Machaber? That's when you come in with the suit and you give him the suit and you say, what do you charge for a suit? You charge $18.50 for a suit? Okay, I got 2 suits over here. There's that. Then the Nachri says, you know what? You're my neighbor. I'll do it for you for nothing. That's the case where the Ramos is machmir, and the Ramos says to the Yesh Cholkim that say, even if he's doing it for nothing, that's still called Adaita de Yisrael Kovet, not Adaita de Nafshei Kovet. But if he is the one who starts the conversation, and he offers right away to do it for nothing, then it's Zicha Nachri Adaita de Nafshei Kovet. Okay, let's go back into the Shulchan Aruch, 3 lines down, near the beginning of the line, right by the Ois Katan Chaf Beis for the Mishnah Berurah, says the Mechaber, another very important malacha. So let's go back to the case of the Mechaber that we said is mutter, okay? You gave out work bekablonos. So let's take what's nowadays probably a very typical case. Let's say a car. You gave a car to the mechanic. Car to the mechanic is basically kablonos. Even though you don't set the exact price up front, but why don't you set the exact price up front? You don't set the exact price up front because you don't know yet what has to be done. You don't know if it's a water pump or it's a hose. If it's a hose, it's going to be $50. If it's a water pump, it's going to be $450. So you don't know exactly what the job is yet, so you can't name the dollar value. But it's understood that you're giving the car to the mechanic. The mechanic is doing the work in his shop. That's what he does for a living. He's taking it on as his work. When he's, has the impact wrench and he's taking out the water pump, if somebody comes and asks him, what are you doing? Who are you working for? He's not going to say, I'm working for Ruvain. No, he's not working for Ruvain. He's working for himself. This is his own business. He's a kablan. You're going to pay him when he delivers the finished project. He delivers the car back to you. That's when he gets paid. So that would be a typical case nowadays of kablanos. Said the Mechaber that's mutter. You could give in the car to the mechanic right before Shabbos. It's kablanos. Take the car. You'll do it when you do it. You decide to do it on Shabbos. You want to get paid sooner. You want to give me the car back sooner. Now, of course, you can't tell him to do it on Shabbos. So you can't tell him, listen, I need the car Saturday night at 7 o'clock if Shabbos is over at 5 to 7, right? You can't tell him that because then you'd be kaveh malachta at Shabbos. And you can't have one of these mechanics who works in your driveway. He has to be working in his shop. Now, going back on this, says the Mechaber now, 3 lines down. But what happens? What if you walk by and you see that he's doing your work on Shabbos? He's working on your car on Shabbos. Says the Mechaber, depends. If this is the case that the Mechaber was matir, if this is a Toivas Hana case, if the mechanic said he's going to do it for you gratis, so in that case the Mechaber said you're allowed to give him the work on Erev Shabbos, because even though he's doing it gratis, he's doing it for Toivas Hana, he's doing it to return a favor. According to the Mechaber, that's Nachri Adaited and Avshei Kavad. So you're allowed to give him the work on Erev Shabbos. But if you gave him the work on Erev Shabbos, and now you see that he's doing the work on Shabbos, says the Mechaber, Tzarech Loimer Shelo Yasa Ba B'Shabbos. You have to tell him to stop working. You have to stop him from working on Shabbos. That's when? If he's doing it b'Tovas Hana. How about if you're a kotzatz, a regular case of kablanis? Then not. He could even do the work on Shabbos. You could see him doing the work on Shabbos. You don't have to stop him. But if he's doing it b'Tovas Hana, says the Mechaber, you have to stop him. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah here. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Ois Kat Chav Beis. V'emra'ohu oiseh. If you see him doing your work on Shabbos, Av she'ha-Mechaber heikel l'mayla liten loy af b'Tovas Hana be'ba'od yom. Even though the Mechaber said that if the Nachri is doing it b'Tovas Hana, you're allowed to give it to him right before Shabbos. That's like kablonos. Ve'ein le'lochush ma sheyasa b'Shabbos, and you don't have to worry that he might do the work on Shabbos because Nachri Adaited and Avshei Kavad. Afilu im hu yedea sheyasa. Even if you know that he is going to do the work on Shabbos. I gave it to him 10 minutes before Shabbos, and somehow I know that he's going to do the work on Shabbos. It's still not my issue. That's what the Mechaber said. The Mechaber said you're allowed to give it to him. It's not my issue if he does the work on Shabbos. Because you didn't tell him to work on Shabbos. Nevertheless, if you happen to walk by the shop, and you see that he's working on your car, Mechzi demidaite of it. Now the Eini Yehudi feels that he's doing your work. See how again we're walking the tightrope. The question becomes, what's the feeling of the Eini Yehudi? What's the feeling between the two of you? So now let's back up a minute. If it's a case of mamish of kablanus, if you were kotzatz, if you said, I'm giving you the car to do an oil change and a tune-up. So it's $39.99 for the oil change, and it's $259.99 for the tune-up. We made that up. We were mamish kotzatz. So I could give it to you on Erev Shabbos, because I don't care if you do the work on Shabbos. You're not doing my work. In that case, even if I walk by the shop and I see the Nachri working on my car, I'm not mechuyev to stop him. Lo yichbat li klum. He's doing his work. If he sees me and he waves to me, he doesn't feel like he's working for me. No, he's an auto mechanic. He's doing his work. Right now, he's working on Rabbi Weiss's car. Fine, very nice. But he's doing his work, and he's getting paid. But if he's doing it b'Tovas Hana, if he's doing it for nothing, then the Mechaber says, give him the work on Erev Shabbos, that you're allowed to do. You're allowed to give him the work on Erev Shabbos, because there's enough Nachri Adaited and Avshei Kavad, he's willing to take on the work and do the work because of the Tovas Hana, because he feels that he owes you a favor for services that you rendered to him in the past. So it's enough Nachri Adaited and Avshei Kavad that you're allowed to give him the work on Erev Shabbos. But if you walk by the shop on Shabbos and you see him working on your car, now you have to stop him. Why? Because he's for not getting paid. And therefore, when he sees you, I'm working for you now. Look, I'm doing that job for nothing. I'm not working for myself. I don't work for myself. Not even getting paid. I'm working for you. Uh-oh. Now there's Amir Lakum. Now it's a mechzi that he's working as your shliach. That's the feeling here. And therefore, it would be usher, says the Mechaber, because of Amir Lakum. And therefore, continues the Mishnah Berurah, v'tzarech loymer loy shalayasa. Then you would have to stop him. Avalim histi imay mitchila liten loy scharoi. But if there was an agreement about pay, av shaloi pirush loy sach yadua, if there was any discussion about pay. So it's like I said, normally when you give your car to the mechanic, there's a discussion about pay. You know he's going to get paid. You just don't know it's going to be $50 for the hose or $4.50 for the water pump. Even though you didn't make up the exact money, you don't have to stop him, even if you see him working on Shabbos, because the work that he's doing is his work, not your work. Continues. Now we go to the Ramah, 4 lines down. Hago. Says the Ramah, this chumrah that the Mechaber says that if the Yehudi is doing the work for you b'toivas hana, and you see him working on Shabbos, you got to stop him. That's true even if you gave him the job to do on Tuesday. If you see him working on Shabbos, you need to stop him. If you gave him the work on Tuesday, it's always mutter. We said that earlier. Even if there's no time for him to finish the job before Shabbos, and you weren't kotzatz, you give out work on Tuesday, it's always mutter. But still, if you see him doing the work on Shabbos, and it wasn't kotzatz, or it was toivas hana, you need to stop him. And you should know, now the Mishnah Berurah just brings up a Zaitik case. Let's say you have a per diem employee. You have a worker who works for you. He gets $100 a day, and he does odd jobs, whatever it is. But whenever he puts in a day's work for you, he gets $100 a day. And he works for you Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Whenever he wants to work for you, he works for you for the day, he gets paid. He knows that you have work for him, so he wants to work for you on Shabbos. Not in your house, not in your office. He's going to take work home with him, and he's going to work at home, b'tzina. There's no Marasayan issues over here. But what's he doing? Why is he working on Shabbos? Because he wants to earn a day's wage. He knows you pay him $100 a day. So he worked for you on Wednesday. He worked for you on Thursday. He couldn't work for you on Friday. So now he wants to work for you on Shabbos. For what? To get a day's pay. He wants to make $100. Says the Mishnah Berurah, if you find tzarich leilech, the limud biyadai, even if you don't see him working, you got to go to his house and you got to stop him. Once you find out, if you find out that he's working on Shabbos, you got to go stop him. Even though you didn't see it happening. Somebody told you. He said, Tony, you know that guy Tony who usually works for you, a per diem employee. He's doing your work now today. You got to go to the house and you got to stop him. Why? Because he's zichur working as your shliach. He's working to make $100 for the day's labor. That's not a kablan. It's not outsourced work. He's working. He's doing your work for a day, and he wants to get $100 for the day. You got to stop him. The Magen Avraham says an interesting case. A shoemaker. You go to the shoemaker. I need a pair of shoes, size 7.5, size 9, size 11, whatever it is. I want black, laces, etc., etc. Okay? Now, you walk by the shoemaker on Shabbos afternoon on the way home from shul, and you see, he's sitting there making the shoes. And it looks like your shoes. It's exactly the order that you made. Says the Mishnah Berurah, afilu loy katzatz, even if you didn't set a price. So you didn't say, I'm going to pay you $250 for the shoes. You didn't speak about money at all. Afilu loy katzatz, ein tzarich libchais biyadai. In this case, you don't have to stop him. Why? Because these are not yet your shoes. Why? It's totally up to the shoemaker. If somebody else would walk into the store right now and say, are those size 11? I happen to need a pair of size 11 black shoes. He could 100% sell them to him and then make you a new pair. So it's not your work. He's not working on your shoes. It's not your shoes yet. Therefore, he's not working for you. Okay, let's go to Sif Gimel, 3 lines off the bottom, middle of the line in the Shulchan Aruch, says the Mechaber. And this really, again, is a repeat of something that we saw in Siman Reish Bem Daled. Let's say you want to give work to a kablan, so you want to do everything right. You want to be kotzatz. You want to set a price for the job. But over here, it's Yedua U'Meforsemes that the work belongs to Yisrael. And says the Mechaber, v'oisa oisa b'makom aforsim. And the worker is doing the work on Main Street where everybody's walking home from shul. He's doing it in the Tchum, in the Yiddish community, outside Barabim. I don't know, he's an embroiderer making paroiches, and he's doing it outside. So, he's doing Jewish work on Shabbos. It's Yedua Umufresemes. Now, it's very nice. He's a Kablan. It's very nice. You a Kotzatz. But now it's Yedua Umufresemes that he's doing Jewish work. Says the Mechaber Toiv Lahachmer V'Lesar, it would be good to be Machmer and to say that this is Aser and not do it. Says the Mishnah Berurah, says the Mishnah Berurah, you have to understand, the Oreis La'abdan, when we're talking about giving hides to a tanner, the Kalim L'Kaives, or laundry to the launderer, Stamanin Yedua Shushal Yisrael, nobody could tell that that leather is being done for a Jew. No one could tell that those t-shirts are being washed for a Yid. Therefore, even if the uman, even if the worker is doing the work outside in public, you don't have to stop him. As long as you did it b'ktzitza, you did it the right way, you were kotzatz, you set a price for the job, you didn't tell him to work on Shabbos, he's doing it in his own place. You don't have to stop him. It's not Yedua L'Koil that he's doing Jewish work. Avalam Haisa Malacha Yedua Shushal Yisrael. But if it's very clear that this is Jewish work, and he's doing it out in public, you have to be moicha and you have to tell him not to do it on Shabbos. Because the Yidden that are walking home from shul, they don't know the terms of the agreement between you and the Uman. They don't know that you hired him as a Kablan, so they're going to be chayshish that there's Mars Ayin here. They're going to think that he's working for you as a schir yoim. V'asel lemechshe they b'schir yoim. The chanal b'simin reish rendal sefalef. Now, the Mishnah Berurah points out a very interesting, what seems to be a contradiction. Over here in Reish Nun Beis Sif Gimel, the Mechaber brings this case, and he says it's such a case, toiv lahachmir v'leser. It would be good to be machmir and say this is aser. But the problem is that in Reish Mem Dalid, Sif Dalid, the Mechaber was much harsher. Over there, the Mechaber said, Dina, when something is befarhesia, when something is done in public and it's very clear that it's the malacha of a Yid, then the Mechaber says it's aser. He doesn't say it's toiv lahachmer v'leser. He says it's aser. So says the Mishnah Berurah, again, over there he says it's aser. Over there he says toiv lahachmer. Says the Mishnah Berurah, v'ayin sham sif dalid, the dasa shachanarach sham de medina aser bazeh. Comes out very clearly in Reish Mem Dalid that the Mechaber holds that this is aser al pidin. V'ayin sham b'bir halacha dibra hamaschil dina, where the bir halacha points out this stira, and he goes through the achrayim, and he comes out that really the halacha should follow what comes out in Reish Mem Dalid, that this is not a case of toiv lahachmir. If it's yedua umufresemes that the work is Yiddish work, that it's aser. That you're not allowed to give out the work. You have to stop the work from being done on Shabbos, even if it was done b'ketzitza. If it's known that it's Jewish work. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Lefize, according to this, hachalukim shenikarim shehem shel Yisrael. If we're talking about Charles Tyrwhitt white shirts, where it's quite obvious that this laundry that's being washed is Yiddish laundry. Ve'ein Yehudi mechabsan al gabi anar, and the Eina Yehudi laundress is standing by the river washing a big stack of Charles Tyrwhitt white shirts by the river, that it seems to be very yodua umefursemes that the work that she's doing is Jewish work. Tzarich libchais biyadai. You have to be moicha kisherei b'Shabbos. If you see this work being done on Shabbos, you got to be moicha and you got to stop it. Aval, however, b'toisefet Shabbos kasav t'loi shaykh bazech shada. So toisefet Shabbos is a very interesting thing. What is the Magen Avraham saying? The Magen Avraham is saying if the type of shirts that are being washed are very obviously Jewish shirts, then if you see the work being done on Shabbos, you got to be moich, you got to stop it. Says the Tosfos Shabbos, wait a second. It's very nice that it's a size 16 Charles Tyrwhitt white shirt, which looks like typical Lakewood material, but says the Tosfos Shabbos, Lo shayach b'zech shada. What chshad? You don't know whose shirt it is. There's 4,000 men that have the same shirts. who are you going to be choshed? How could you say there's a Marasayan and there's a chshad? You don't have anybody to be choshed. If it would have initials on it, so that you could tell me, okay, it says on it Yud Mem, I'm going to be choshed Yankel Mermelstein. Even that's a stretch. How many different Yud Mems are there? But if it's just a white shirt, I'm choshed who? I'm choshed 4,000 different people? So the Tosfos Shabbos says, not negay. The Chayyim says another kula. Mitamacher. He says another reason why it could be mekel. The kevin sheyadua sheminik kolbening a ear lited kelen lekayvis b'kablonos. Let's remember, if the minig is that laundry is always given out b'kablonos, alken afilu eini Yehudi mechapsim b'makom before zamoter. If everybody understands that this is work that's always given out b'kablonos, then this is mutter. Even if it's yadua for semes, that it's Yiddish work and it's being done b'makom goloi, if it's work that everybody knows is done b'kablonos. So if you use a mechanic that's on Main Street and you have a van that's very, you've got all the thank you Hashem stickers and the Ura Fivish stickers on your car, and everybody who walks by knows, oh, that's Yankel's car. And Yankel's car is being worked on Shabbos, on Main Street. You do him for Semes. It's in Mokum Golui. Do you have to be moichet stop him? No. You know why? Because everybody knows that you give out work to a mechanic, but kablonos. No one's going to be chayshid that he's a schir yoim. Mechanics don't work as a schir yoim. So it's pakablonos, it's mutter. That's what the Chayyim is saying. Dein b'zech shodam shem schir yoim. Okay, Masha Kasa b'Siman Reish Rem Gimel Sif Beis. V'hoadin b'chol hakelu shederch litnon b'kablonos. This applies to any work that's typically given out b'kablonos. Vein isa b'zeh el kisha oisa b'beis Yisrael. It would be awesome to have the mobile oil change guy come to your house and do an oil change in your driveway. Landscapers. I hire a landscaper, but I pay my landscaper b'kablonos. I don't pay per hour. I don't pay per day. He gets X per cut. So he's a kablan. But if he shows up to my house at Shabbos, I got to get rid of him. And it's happened. If he comes to my house at Shabbos, he's doing work on my property on Shabbos. Then I can't say, oh, it's kablanos, even though it's your dual akoil, that it's kablanos. Still, you're not allowed to have it done on your property. When the work is being done on your property, none of these are term help. Thank you so much for joining me for limud HaTorah. The source of limud HaTorah should be megan against Klal Yisrael. The Baruch Shem should say, Yeshua Sefuros Panasin Shaduchim to all those in need. We should be zoichet to see the Bias Gal Tzedek B'mheri V'Yameinu. Amen. Be well.